Good afternoon, the dear lecturer. And today is our group. We was a presentation of the consumer product industrial risk and the performance assessment. And my part is the introduction. So through my part, I will to first the definition. I will introduce the definition of the consumer product. Consumer product are the foundation of the modern and the consumer and the economic. The industry itself not only generated the huge portion of the GDP, and it also generated the huge amount of the money into other industries, no branding, advertising, and the retail. And for second part, the GDP inflation in Malaysia, and I will be introduced the economic growth of the countries as measured by GDP was decreased to 4% in 2016 and from the 5 to 5% in 2012. And however, in 2013, the view was stepping up to from the 4.7% and to the 6%, which it is the highest view overall during the year 2012 and the 2016. For the part 3, we're talking about the factor to determine the sustainability of the industries. And for the liquidity aspect is the factor for the effective operation, and also in the long term it can sustain the business continuance. The sustainability of the company does not determine only by its liquidity. The operation of a company as a part of the internet factor, which is unique to specific company. And for the final part, the structure of this study, the research. This part of study will be divided into the 4 parts. Where the second part will be the literature review, which discuss about the current study due to the different researches. The next part will be discussed about the descriptive findings with economic, the manufacturing specific risk factors and economic factors and the profitability performance, and includes the Sporintiza and the London Biscuit, Pardini and Saudi Group and the FM company performance. The last part contains some the recommendation and the conclusion to the whole of the 5 companies. For the literature review, the Wansan and Abdullah stating that the size of bad that might affect non-sales as a instrument that happens in risk situation without the company's risk portfolio in the same time can produce a good and stable income. And for the second, the Sigma stated that the importance of the corporate governance in Malaysia. And for the third part, and the Ashram stated that the firms which operate good business likely to have the good corporate social responsibility.
My name is Intan Nur Fatihah binti Sa'ari. My metric number is 23357. In addition, for literature review, Mahmood and Koyum 2010 state that the productivity and liquidity was extremely crucial to 2 primary objectives, which is for profitability is to maximize shareholder wealth, and for liquidity was for company to increase in value. In other article that stated by Y. Ibrahim W. Mustafa and Suryani Sukri 2016, they state that the special risk management can use as a tool in mitigating risk, and it also become more compete in the financial industry in current year. The result exhibited that Islamic bank overhand the liquidity execution result, contrasted with conventional bank, which represented with mean percentage. In the last article, Gokul and Hanif 2004 mentioned that inflation rate is the rate when the price of goods and service is rising, and consequently purchasing power of currency is increasing. They also state that the inflation imposes negative externality on the economy when it obstructs an economy's efficiency. Then I will continue with the current ratio. Current ratio is a measure of how well company can meet its short-term obligation. Short-term obligation are usually debt, liability and liability that need paid in the next 12 months. Based on the graph here, it can be clearly seen that Spritzer company has the best performance every year start from 2012 until 2016 because it has the highest current ratio compared with the other companies. The higher the current ratio means the better position the company is to operate smoothly in the future and will have no issues to paying their obligation in the next 12 months. So, it can be assumed that Spritzer has more asset in order to pay their obligations. The highest current ratio for Spritzer is in year 2013, which is 168.46, while for the company that has lower current ratio is Saudi Group and London Biscuit Berhad. And it can be concluded that both companies has difficulties to fulfill their obligation because has the small number of current ratio.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Ridwan bin Osman and my metric number is 2333068. Now I will continue to the leverage ratio. First and foremost, leverage ratio is a financial measurement to look at how much the debt of the company to meet their financial obligations. Highly leveraged means that the company has taken on too much loan and also debts. It is dangerous to the companies and its investors if it has too much debt because can lead to credit downgrades and worse. From the graph, it can be concluded that among the 5 years of the 5 company, the Saudi group company has the highest leverage compared to the others. It is because it has higher liability compared to its equity in their company. The ratio of Saudi group is more than one, shows that it is financed more with debt, and it can be assumed this company is financed more with loans from the banks. The ratio is keep increase until year 2015 and decrease again in the next years. While for the Spritzer company, it shows that Spritzer company the performance is very best because it has lower leverage ratio, which is less than 1. It can be assumed that the Spritzer company is financed more by stockholder and also equity. Total equity for the company is higher than its total liability from year to year.
My name is Nurliza Nazira binti Akas and my metric number is 233335. Okay, now I will present about the company's performance on return on asset. Company's sole purpose is to generate revenues and produce profits. It is also helps both management and investors to see how well the company converts its investment in assets into profits. It is also a return on investment. In return on investment for a company, since its capital assets often give a biggest return on investment for most companies. Okay, as we can see this graph, the highest ROA is in the year 2012 is the company FNN. The higher the return, the more efficient the management is utilizing its asset base. So, while the lowest ROA is Saudi Group Berhad, because this company is not effectively managing their assets to generate income. But FNN, it's more effectively managing their assets to produce the greater amount of income than other companies. Okay, now I will present about the company's performance on return on equity. Return on equity is a profitable ratio from the investor's point of view. By this ratio, it calculates how many money are made based on the investors' investment in the companies. Not the company's investment in assets or something else. The higher the ratios are almost always better than the lowest ratio. So based on this graph, we can see that the Saudi Group Berhad has the lowest ratio than other companies, while the highest ratio is in the year of 2012 in Padini Berhad, even though not too high, but it is high amongst the other companies. The higher the ratio of percentage, the more efficient management in its utilizing its equity base, and the better return to the investors. So, the efficient companies between 5 companies is Padini Berhad.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to lecturer. My name is Talha Al-Anshari bin Fauzi Rahman. My metric number is 231677. I want to present discussion part in my study on consumer product industry. In this part of discussion, we use SPSS to run our data to see the relationship between ROA and this variable. The positive relationship shows positive. A positive figure show positive relationship with the performance. First, in profitability, we take ROE and ROA on this consumer product industry for 5 company in 5 years average. ROE have 0.96 on average positive relationship with ROA, means that consumer product industry in 5 years have good management in its asset and its equity. When the ROA increase, ROE also increase 0.96 on average. Second, I want to talk about risk in the consumer product industry, that we use leverage, operating ratio, and average collection period. All of these 3 items have negative relationship or not strong, weak, positive relationship with ROA. It is good for the consumer product industry because when it have generate more income, it mitigate more risk. Lastly is about macroeconomic factors, that is exchange rate, inflation rate, GDP, and unemployment rate. Based on this figure, ROA have negative relationship with unemployment rate and exchange rate. It means that when the exchange rate become lower, the return on equity become more higher in the consumer product industry. It shows that company in the consumer product industry are good in managing microeconomic factors.
For the conclusion, overall in this study has found that it is clear about the equity risk, operational risk, systematic risk is faced by all the company, especially in the study of the firm. For F&A company, during the year 2013 until 2016, which hands the best performance of the liquidity, which is the ratio of the F&A company is almost maintained to the ratio of the 2:1. But for this company, in the year 2012, is produced the bad performance, which is because the company have the higher current ratio. For the operational performance aspect, the Spitzer company have the best performance within the 5 companies, and for the F&A company can be said has a not stable ratio, except in the 2014, which is achieve the highest ratio. Therefore, for those companies should concern more to the corporate governance to reduce any inefficiency that reducing the ability of a company in generating more profit year by year. That's all from us. Thank you.